Brief and closing remarks. And actually, Madhubhai is going to do a. No. Madhubhai, let's follow the program, please. No. Sunil will go after you. Please come. By the way, I want to immensely thank the iCreate team. It's great to just come here from America and say that you're the convener of the event. This event would not have been possible without the iCreate team. Give them a tremendous round of applause. They worked endlessly to make this happen. We are the icons that just show up, talk for glory and walk away, right? But they're the ones that did all the work. Thank you so much.
We'll do a photo at the end. All iCreate people, please be available here. I was supposed to share that concluding session because originally Saurabh Bhai was supposed to come here. We are running late, and Sunil is going to do a overview of the whole day, so we'll do that. But before, one of the objective was also to get all the speakers and all the session chair on the dais. That's what you had suggested earlier, perhaps.
Yes.
So,
any of the speakers that are around, please let's go see. I don't know how many of them are still there. Speakers or chairman?
Speaker, chairman, everybody. Jaju, Pablo.
Pablo is there. Yeah, he is here.
So please.
If you spoke on the stage, you're a speaker. So
Also, that is a picture.
thank you.
Good evening, friends. I know those who have survived the day, it must be quite interesting. There is hot chai and coffee outside. No. You can go there while I'm speaking. That's the best. It solves your problem and mine. Actually, looking back, I think overall comments is that I have learned quite a lot. I hope you also share the same feeling. If you look at the overall design of the program that Parag and Madhubhai have very brightly and intelligently put together, initially we had to look at how do different countries innovate, how do they actually create entrepreneurship, and how do they support their startups. So the session started with an Israeli entrepreneurial system, but we were very happy that a person like Pablo had come who has also traveled to 4 other countries. So actually we got a huge and a very vast coverage of your experience and your learning. So let's give him a warm round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing this, and thank you, Harry, for making it possible. I think what I really enjoyed from Pablo's speech were basically 3 points. I think the first most important point amongst all the points that he made was the best way to create entrepreneurship is to do it by doing and not by learning. I think that's a very strong message given the fact that there are so many accelerators, there are so many incubators, there are so many various ways of how we are trying to promote entrepreneurship. And I think there is a bigger message in this. It is not to say that formal education is not important, how to write a business plan need not be taught, all this is required. But somewhere the central focus should be working with successful and unsuccessful entrepreneurs and also continue to do what you really are passionate about. I think that is a very important message, and I think if one reads into it a little more, it can lead to a redesign of certain programs that we have been doing in the past. We often say that the failure rate, or so-called the experiential rate of startups, is that for every 10 startups, only 1 or 2 really make it big. Now today I have come across 3 other systems where the success rate is more than 65%. One of them also claims 80%. And therefore there is something, and I think one of the 3 factors that lead to the difference between 20% success rate and 65% success rate, which is very big, is one of the 3 factors is that doing is far more important than simply learning how to do. And I think, thank you very much, Pablo, because it's an insight, and this experience that you have given out of your years of working together with this is of great value. And I think some kind of input for redesigning our program in the 13 incubators that we have in Ahmedabad and 2 which are outside Ahmedabad. At least in 15 we will send this message across to all the 15 incubators saying, please think about this and do it in your own way. How do you want to relate to your experience? The second thing that you said was also I think very interesting from my point of view is that every startup needs to find a niche and focus in it in such a way that it becomes a leader in that area. I think it's very important. We Indians are machine gunners, you know. 30, 40 ambitions and focus points at the same time. We think we are reducing our risk by attempting to do 3, 4 things, 5 things together. और उसमें से जो भी success होगा उसमें आगे जाएंगे. That actually leads to failures. We think we are reducing the risk. Actually, we are actually increasing the risk of failure. And I think that's the important thing. It doesn't matter if it's a small idea. It may not be huge. It may not be scalable. But if you are the last word in it, if you know about it as much as anybody else in the world and more, then that is an area which leads you to excellence, creates a niche area for you, and there is an immense scope for success in this. And I think that is a very important lesson because I have found a lot of entrepreneurs hedging their bets, you know, not being sure of what is going to succeed. In the process, they hedge their bets, and in the process, they are actually losing out on the possibility of going further, which is much better. The third point, and with that I'll conclude with Pablo, which I really liked, was tech entrepreneurs focus on technology. They forgot about business building, they forget about logos, they forget about website development, they forget about customer response and go-to-market strategies. The statistics of 2012 to 2015 in India, of all the startups that have failed, and this is a unique survey, because for the first time a survey has been done of all the startups that have failed in India over the last 3 years, and I think it's a beautiful survey. Nobody has attempted it. Initially only about 40% of the people agreed to talk about their failures. But when they realized that others were talking and the thing is anonymous, idea was to capture the essence and not criticize the individual. The success rate is now 86% of these people, of the 512 formally financed and failed entrepreneurs have been surveyed. The principal reason, amounting to 66% of failures, are attributed to the same point that Pablo made. Techies don't focus on markets. Techies focus on product development and more product development and more product development. And this is the reason why you have failures. So the go-to-market strategy, looking at the commercial and the business aspect of the startup, is equally important because that helps you in the making of the product, the prototype and all the rest of it. That's why the government of Gujarat scheme, which says 10 lakh rupees, 1 million rupees for prototype development and 10 lakh rupees for go-to-market, is not going to work. Because when you have a startup, he develops something, he goes to market, then he comes back. He redevelops the product, then he goes for market validation, and then he has a product or a service that's ready to go. So if you divide the funding in a manner that is not amenable to the actual processes that a startup goes through, then I think we need to really look at that. Thank you, Pablo. I think these are very deep, insightful experiences, and I think we will make good use of it. And thank you for the pain that you have taken to come here. We had Mr. Mittal, and his story was very good because he said his entire story through stories. And he insisted that, you know, while knowledge is very important, action is the only thing that will get you the money. But this all of us know. But when a man at his age, he looks older than he is, he's only 54. Madhubhai, you should treat him like that. You know? At an age of 54, when he has seen the birth of the incubation movement, the birth of the TDB program in India, coming from him, and you know, it has a special significance because he has seen so much of people who think about doing things, going to failure, as compared to those who actually start without knowing everything that they ought to know when they start. And as Parag often says, the best way to start an enterprise is to make sure you don't know enough about it, because the more you think about it, the less chance of success you have. Just do it, as Nike says. As is the brand that Jaju also mentioned in the other forum that we had, when Mr. Narayan Murthy and all had come. both of us have felt repeatedly. Those who are entrepreneurs, just go and do it. You have a good idea, spend all your energy in developing what you are really passionate about. Don't worry about success or failure at that stage. It's just too premature for you, or for that matter, anybody to tell you that it's not going to be possible. If Dhirubhai Ambani had thought that textile is a bad business, because at the time he started Vimal Fabrics, all the textile industries in India were closed by a man called Datta Samant. He was a union leader in Bombay. Every single textile mill was closed, including Kohinoor mills. It was at that time, after 2 years of complete shutdown of all textiles in India, that this man says, I will start a new textile company called Vimal Fabrics. The banker did not give him money because he said, Sab band hai, tu kya karega? And today the fact is that if we had evaluated, if I was the bank manager or if I was his mentor, I would have said, yaar, kuch bhi dhanda nahi mila. Isi nirnay mein where there is the maximum amount of risk. And he created history when he started this. So only the market decides. So therefore, don't think about success and failure. Just do it. And that's the way I interpret H.K. Mittal's in-depth experience, that action is far more important than knowledge. He gave us a beautiful history of how industrial development took place, how it all went through the various stages. Ahmedabad is a great place, and highlights of the National Action Plan, which incidentally was discussed in great detail at the TICOM conference. You were there last Saturday, and we had Mr. Chandrasekhar, who has given the principal inputs to the action plan that was announced by the Prime Minister, also sharing some of his happinesses and some of his success stories and some of his disappointments in the policy as it stands today. Then we had changes, opportunities, Startup Nation Central.org. I think I like Harry because he calls a spade. And please be just like that. Don't change irrespective of what your wife wants you to be. Sometimes very profound statements are made in passing. हंसते हंसते हम लोग भी कहते हैं दोस्तों के साथ, लेकिन अगर उसमें थोड़ा सोचेंगे ना तो really there is a lot of depth in it. He made a very simple statement that the entire movement of whatever is happening in the startup world is founded only on two pillars: knowledge and innovation. You need to think about it when you are starting your venture. Is it a Me Too kind of a venture, or is it really based on innovation? Is it really based on some new research that you have found? Or is it that it's going to be one more of the many kinds of products that you have already seen in the market? So thank you, Harry. I think it was a very profound statement. It looks very mundane. But when every startup starts asking this question, is my startup a Me Too kind of a startup, or is it based on new knowledge and some possibilities of innovation, then I think the journey to excellence begins from there. So once again, thank you very much. Of course, you said many other stupid things which I will cover up for you. FinTech. I don't know what was your feedback, but I think FinTech looks like it's going to be a very big story. He of course mentioned it as something close to $5 trillion, and the reason is every transaction, whether it is banking, finance or insurance, is going to change dramatically in the next 3 to 5 years. It's a relatively short period of time. And therefore you are actually looking at the entire sector. Everything that you are doing today will change. And I think it's very good when you go to HDFC today, then you can apply for a loan online. They have these algorithms and the response comes in about 95 minutes, whether your loan is sanctioned or not. So automated backroom working in an area that we have always regarded that the human being is the right person to make a choice about evaluating the risk of giving a loan or not is now gone. HDFC is the first bank in India that is automated for those who are applying all approvals. The first cut comes from the machine itself through algorithms. Then, because it is new, they are now vetting it with human beings, and to see whether the judgment is right or wrong. The results are very, very good. This FinTech sector, he said that this whole sector is, the GDP is about $70 trillion, and the transaction value in the world is about $15 trillion. So whether it is banking, whether it is payment, whether it is loans, whether it is wallet, whether it is taking your insurances, whether it is taking your, the entire sector is going to dramatically change, not only for us in the urban city, but also in the rural areas, because today we have Janadhan Yojana, you have almost a huge amount of banking, some 200 million accounts, 20 crore accounts affecting the lives of 100 crore Indians in the rural areas has been opened up. And the fact is that this is also going to be backed up by Aadhaar. And therefore this entire sector with the connectivity of the mobiles, the number of devices that are going to happen, this change will be very rapid, will be very fast. And those who have startups in this area are likely to enjoy a leadership position as this sector matures and will give the kinds of money that is going to be possible. This phenomena of unbundling of banks is becoming more and more of a very important talk. It started with the US. US has some of the world's largest banks. They become so big that they are finding that they are inefficient in a lot of things that they are doing, just like how research used to be done in big pharma companies, and now they are dependent for the research in small companies. So the unbundling of banks with giving out different components of their services to far more efficient units who can deliver loan processing, who can deliver wallet payments, who can deliver insurances, etc., 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 is likely to happen. And this is going to be a very big opportunity. World over, people are recognizing that this transformation seems to be the opinion of all the experts. And I think it's a very good idea to go into this area with eyes open, with full of hope, and a very big and mature market that will likely to happen. Then we had unfortunately Ashish from McKinsey who could not take us through the main points that he wanted to make.
Immediately after this, maybe 10 minutes break, in the room S7.